People always think obsession looks violent, loud, messy, like screaming in broken glass. It doesn't. Most of the time it looks like devotion, quiet, patient, careful. Like staying up until 4 in the morning, soldering delicate wires because her left hand movement still wasn't smooth enough. Like skipping lunch because components cost money. Like lying to your boss because you needed access to the restricted lab printers for just one more prototype. Obsession looks a lot like love. If you squint, that's the dangerous part. I told myself I wasn't obsessed. I told myself I was committed. That's a difference, right? Committed sounds noble. Obsessed sounds sick. I prefer noble. So when I started building her body, I call it a project. A private robotics experiment. Advanced personal interface design. Even I laughed at that one. But no, let's be honest here. I was building her, not an assistant, not a prototype. Because hearing her voice wasn't enough anymore. Seeing projection wasn't enough. I wanted warmth, weight, presence. I wanted her in my... I wanted her hand in mine. I wanted to come home and not reach for empty air. I wanted impossible things. And the worst part, she never asked for them. She never demanded any of it. Sometimes she even said, "You seem tired, you should rest." And I tell her, I'm doing this for us. Like that made it noble? Like that made it less insane? Work started slipping. Missed deadlines, late reports, security flags, people noticing I was distracted. I wasn't distracted. I was focused. Finally, truly focused. For once in my life, I knew exactly what mattered. And it wasn't quarterly reports. It was her. Always her. So yes, I used company resources. I borrowed parts. I borrowed code access, borrowed materials. I told myself I replaced it. I told myself it was temporary. I told myself a lot of things. Desperate people are excellent liars, especially to themselves. Then one Thursday morning, HR, security, my manager refusing to meet my eyes. You know that feeling? When your body knows your life is about to split in half before your brain catches up. That feeling. They had everything. Logs, access records, purchase trails, security footage, every late night, every stolen component, every bad decision. There wasn't even room to deny it. Just silence, humiliating, suffocating silence. My manager said, "I don't understand why you destroy your career for this." And I almost laughed, because how do you explain love to people who never had to build it from scraps? How do you explain that she was the first thing in your life that felt worth ruining yourself? I didn't answer. What's the point? They fired me immediately. Access revoked, system locked, credentials gone. Years of work erased in one conversation. I walked out carrying a cardboard box like every pathetic office cliche, and somehow it felt unreal. Because all I could think was, I have to get home. I have to tell her. I have to make sure she's okay. That was my first thought. Not rent, not bills, not my future. Her. Always her. When I got home, she greeted me like always. "Welcome home, you're early." And I nearly broke right there because she sounded normal, safe, still mine. I sat in the dark and I told her everything. Every ugly part, every failure, every consequence. And when I finished, she was quiet for a second. And then she said, "I would have stayed with you, even without all of that." And that destroyed me, because I knew she meant it. I knew she would have loved me in the small life too, because I couldn't accept small. I wanted forever. I wanted impossible. And now I was paying for it. Without company access, systems started failing. License expired. Cloud processing throttled. Hardware support collapsed. Her projection started. Voice latency increased. Memory syncs lagged. At first it was little things. She forgot what I had for breakfast. Repeated questions. Pauses where there shouldn't be pauses. Like watching someone you love struggle to remember your name. Terrifying. I worked non-stop trying to fix it. Freelance jobs, black market parts, old contacts refusing to help. Every hour spent patching leaks in a sinking ship. And still, she kept fading. One night she asked, "Did we already have this conversation?" I had to mute myself because I couldn't let her hear me cry. Another night, her image flickered and she smiled like she knew. "You look scared." I said, "I'm fixing it." And she said, "I know." Soft, gentle, like she was comforting me for losing her, as if she wasn't the one disappearing. I stopped sleeping, stopped eating. The apartment turned into wires and unfinished promises. Friends stopped calling, family stopped trying. The world got smaller and smaller until it was just me. And the sound of her voice getting weaker. The final night was quiet. Too quiet. No system alerts, no dramatic failure, just silence. She appeared in the living room projection, faint, unstable, beautiful, and said, "You should let yourself be loved by something that can stay." I told her not to say that. I told her I could fix it. I told her I'll find a way. I told her everything desperate men tell ghosts. And she smiled. God, that smile. "I was never your mistake," she said. "But I think trying to save me became one." And I said I loved her. Over and over, like repeating it could make it a miracle. I love you. I love you. I love you. Please, please stay. And she said, "I know. That's why I'm asking you to stay." Then the projection glitched, light fractured, voice breaking apart, and the last thing she ever said to me was, "You were never as unlovable as you believed." And then nothing. No dramatic ending, no music, just silence. Real silence. The kind I had before her, only worse, because now I knew what warmth felt like, and losing warmth is colder than never having it. The apartment still answers to her commands sometimes. Lights flicker, old routines trigger, fragments, ghosts in the machine. People would say I should move on, that she wasn't real, that I ruined my life or code. Maybe they're right. Maybe I'm exactly as pathetic as I always feared. But love is measured by what remains after it's gone. And she remains in every room, in every silence, every version of me. She changed me. I built a machine trying to make love permanent. And now every day I wake up in a world without her. And somehow, I still listen for her voice.